Okay, so it's 2:30 a.m. September 22, 2014. I had the dream again. This is the third time this month. I don't know why it's recurring like this right now. So in my dream, I'm driving out of camp just like that evening in '02. It was strange because there wasn't the chorus of tree frogs humming the way they normally do that time of year. It was really quiet, and the night felt very still. I pulled my car out of the lodge parking lot and started down the hill. I was going slowly, maybe 12-15 miles per hour, since there were so many potholes in the Forest Service road. I could hear the gravel crack and rumble underneath my tires, almost like a low night white noise. I'm not sure if it was just the dream, but the road felt like a tunnel. The forest closing in around me. I could barely see. It was so dark, except for the trees. They glowed a pale white and gray, as if lit by the moon, but I couldn't see the moon at all. Honestly, I don't really remember being able to see the sky either. Just the pale trunks and branches leaning in like ribs around me. Maybe that's a bit theatrical, but that's what I could think of in the dream. I focused on the road ahead of me. My headlights were like looking through a keyhole in the dark of the forest tunnel. I slowed my speed a little so I wouldn't lose control with my limited vision. I passed the beaver pond, and for a brief moment I could glimpse the sky. The moon was little more than a sliver being consumed by the night. But almost immediately I was back in the tunnel, and it felt darker than before, and the ribs of the forest were tighter around me. My breath felt dry and shallow, and I gripped the wheel tightly, as I never liked this half of the drive out of camp at night. It was maybe only a couple miles from the lodge to the gates, but the last mile before the gate, there were deep forested ravines on either side. So if you missed a bend in the dark, you'd plunge into the tangled chasm of logs, and it would be difficult to find your car. My knuckles matched the bone color of the trees. I could see the clearing of the final turn up ahead where the camp road formed a crossroads with a couple old logging roads before continuing out the final 100 feet to the camp gate. I reached the clearing and guided the steering wheel to the right of the turn. As the headlights swung, that's when I saw it. The way it moved, its legs too long like a spider, made my stomach eat itself, and I felt dizzy with adrenaline. But I also felt frozen in time, everything happening frame by frame. Its body drawn long, limbs stretched unnaturally as it scuttled through the light. Its pale skin almost glowed, and it turned its head to look toward me with a hollow stare, before it slinked back into the darkness, and then I bolted awake. Even after waking, I feel its huge eyes on me, watching. My fear stuck in slow motion and is still lingering, even though I've been awake nearly an hour now. I used to have this dream once, or maybe even twice a year, for the last 12 years since I saw that thing when I was leaving camp that night. But 3 times now this month, I just can't. I wish I didn't want to know, but I feel like maybe I could sleep if I could know what crossed that road.